Well, guys, in this lecture, we are going to discuss the current affairs topic. I have taken this article from Hindu, Too Close for Comfort. This article is about India-US 2+2 meetings. So let's discuss the positive and negative aspects of this discussion. So we have to first consider ki whose side this meeting is, whether it is India or whether it is for USA. Who has benefited much? Who has benefited much? To reach at this point, let's discuss some aspects of the treaty. First, see what this meeting says. Ki India should maximize in buying oil from US while minimizing buying oil from Iran. So obviously, you can presume that it favors US, means it bolsters the growth of the US local oil industries, and at the same time it has adversely impacts the Indo-Iran relationship. Next, come to point 2, US federal law CAATSA. And while we discuss this point, we have to view this point from multidimensional points. At this juncture, there are some relationship which comes into forefront: India, Russia, US, and again Pakistan and China. Because while inviting a good relationship between India and Russia, and while inviting bad relationship between India and Russia, right, it has manifold impacts on Pakistan and China relationship with India, because Pakistan and China are much more close to Russia. So we have to see this viewpoint that how the close relationship between India and USA ignoring Russia will impact the relationship between India, Pakistan, China. India on the one hand and Pakistan and China on the another hand. Again, India and India one hand, or Russia, Pakistan and China on the another hand. And what is this US? What is this law? Actually, it is a kind of US federal law. It is United States domestic law. And it through this agreement, US is trying to impose this law on India, and India also abides by the pact. Means India responds to this agreement. That means the one demerit, you can call demerit, and you can call false for India, that you cannot say totally false, but you can say some concerns of this pact is that throughout this agreement, India has responded to the domestic law of other countries. Means India has accepted the hegemony of an USA, where USA has tried their domestic law on India. Again, see the third point of this agreement, the communication compatibility. And to some extent, this is good, because throughout this point, this Communication Compatibility Act, provision of this act has provided that the India can access to the US communication technology. This is a good point. But what are the concerns? The concerns are that this sophisticated technology, the India and it will increase. The good point is that it will boost the India-US military relationship. And some concerns is that South Korea and USA has this agreement, right? In USA has military agreement with South Korea, and the relationship between India and South Korea, and throughout this, and India, the relationship between India and other Southeast Asian countries, how this how this condition will impact their relationship, it will also matter. And another thing concern is that only US has access to inspect this technology. US personnel will maintain this technology. Means India has given access to US defense personnel, US expert to India unequivocally, right? As a whole, what points we can get are, though there are some good points like India will access to US technology, India and US military relationship will boost, and throughout it will impact the it will help to eliminate terrorism from the world, and in another aspect, US position will improve as a good relationship between India and USA. But to some extent, we can say that India has compromised their domestic policy to compromise with US. Right, because India has given access to India has given unnecessary access to US in the domestic policy, in the domestic environment, domestic internal domain of India. Right, and apart from this, what we can say, that balancing point is that how this relationship will impact the relationship between India on the one hand and Pakistan and China on the another hand. This and one another concern is that to what extent the relationship between India and USA will impact the relationship between India and Southeast Asian countries, because the geographical position of India is such that India exists in Southeast Asian domain. The much more close relationship with a country who exists far away from India, how it can help India, how it can help to boost India's domestic policy or India's foreign relationship. Is it good for India to ignore the close countries who exist nearby her and give much more importance to to a far country like USA? So all these points we have to discuss in this current affairs.